In this video, you're going to learn how to use the spread operator with objects. So far, we've just used it with arrays, as seen here. Well, it works with objects too. Now, in order to get support for this syntax, we do have to make one small configuration change to Babel. If you remember, we configured Babel over here in Webpack config on this options object. All we need to do in order to get support for the spread operator on objects is to install one new Babel plugin and set it up on this object. So let's knock that out first, then we'll explore the new syntax that it actually gives us. Right here, we are in the notes project folder. I'll use cd:/boilerplate to go over to the boilerplate project folder. From here, we're going to run a single npm install command. So npm install. The plugin name is quite long. It is Babel-transform-object-rest-spread. We're going to grab the latest version, which is 6.26.0. Awesome. Now, once we install this, we're just going to add a very small piece of configuration over here. On this options object, we're going to be adding another root property. This one is called plugins, and it is going to be an array. And the only plugin that we're going to set up is the one that we just installed. For us, we are going to type out everything but Babel plugin. That part of the package name isn't necessary. So that would be transform, object, rest, spread. Perfect. Now we have our Webpack config all wrapped up, and we can actually run the boilerplate project, run the dev server, and use this new syntax. From the terminal, I'm going to start things up. npm run dev-server. Once that's up, I will refresh things in the background to connect to the newly booted up server. Here we go. We got things running. Now we can switch over to index.js and actually explore the object spread operator. Let's kick things off by getting an object in our code right here. Let's make an object called house, and we'll just set this up to have a few properties that a house would have. I'll have the number of bedrooms. Let's use 2. The number of bathrooms. I'll use 1.5 for 1 full and 1 half bath. And then we could also set something else like the year built. Right here, I'll just toss in last year, 2017. So we have this object, and with the object spread operator, we can basically do the exact same things we were doing previously with the array spread operator. So one thing we can do is make a copy of this object. Right here, let new house equal, we're going to set up our object, and to use the object spread operator, it's ... as it is with the array spread operator, followed by the thing we're trying to spread out. So in this case, it would be the house variable. The end result is that all of the properties from house, so bedrooms, bathrooms, and year built, are going to be copied over to this new object. We can go ahead and actually prove that by printing both. Console.log house. Then down below that, console.log new house. I'm going to save index.js. The browser refreshes in the background, and what do we get? We get 2 objects with the exact same properties. The catch is that if I change one of the properties from one of them, I don't change the property from the other. So new house, I will set its year built equal to 2018. If I save things and refresh, we can see that these 2 objects are indeed independent. The original one still has 2017 for the year built, and the new one has 2018 for the year built. Now, just like we saw with the array spread operator, the object spread operator doesn't have to be the only thing inside of here. I could also add other properties in there on the fly. Let's go ahead and do just that. There are a few different things we can do. For example, we could add something completely new that's not on the other object. For this one, I'll go ahead and use something like whether or not it has a basement. I'll leave that as a Boolean value. So true if you have a basement. Now we have a new house object where basement is true and bedrooms is 2, bathrooms is 1.5, and year built is 2017. If we save things, that is exactly what we're going to end up getting over inside of the browser. Right here, both objects are the same, except the second one has the new basement property. Now with this, the order is also important. So I could override one of the properties from house right inside of here. I'll toss a comma right here, and on the next line, let's set a new value for bedrooms. Instead of 2, I'm going to go ahead and set it to 3. So now, since house is getting spread out first, the value set there, 2, will be overridden by the value set down below. If I save things, we are going to see that the second object printing has a bedrooms value of 3. Now, once again, the order is important. So if I were to define bedrooms before I spread out the house property would override that value. We can prove this right here by just setting up bedrooms equal to 3 before I spread out house. Whatever comes last is going to take precedent. So right here, if I save the file over in the browser, we are still going to see a bedrooms value of 2. Yes, we do set it to 3, but after we set it to 3, we override it by spreading out an object that also has that property defined. The spread operator is very handy for merging objects in this way, and that's exactly what you're going to end up doing for the challenge for this video. Down below, I'm going to leave a few comments as to what I'd like you to do, then I'll set you off on your own. So right here, number 1, you're going to create a person object with 2 properties, name and age. You can pick whatever values you like for those. And then you're going to create a second object called location with 2 properties, city and country. Finally, you're going to create a new overview object and use the spread operator to add all 4 properties onto this new object. So you're going to want to spread out both of those objects onto this new overview object. Take some time to actually create those 3 objects, then print out the final overview one and make sure it does have all 4 properties showing up on it. Pause the video, test your work, and when you're done, click play. How'd that go? Let's go ahead and kick things off by creating the easy objects. So const person equals, we'll set name equal to our first name, and then we'll set age equal to our age. After that, we're going to create our second object location. So const location equals a new object. Right here, we're going to have city. We're going to set city equal to my city, Philadelphia. And we're also going to have country. Right here, I'll just use USA. And then finally, we're going to create that third object that has all properties from both. So right here, you needed to create a new object. So I'll call this one overview equals a new object. And the goal was to use the spread operator to grab all 4 properties. So first up, we are going to spread out person right here. Then we could add something new. I could add on another property from scratch, something along the lines of job equals some position like teacher, but that's not what we want here. We don't want to add on another new property. I want to spread out a different object. So once again, we just use ... with that other object location. Now overview has all of the properties from person and all of the properties from location. In effect, we've merged these 2 objects. Let's go ahead and print out overview and see what we get. Console.log overview. I'm going to save index.js. Over in the browser, things refresh. Down at the bottom, we have our final object. We have name Andrew, age 27, city Philadelphia, and country USA. So there we go. With the object spread operator, we now have another tool in our tool belt when we're working with and creating objects. That's where we're going to stop for this one. There is just one more important topic I'd like to cover in this section before we wrap this section up. I'm excited to get to that, so let's go ahead and jump into the next video and talk about destructuring.